So Trey.
Hey, you know what? You have been here, not to the Black Media Matter Studios, but you've been here on the show before. But tell me about your response to this amazing new studio.
Honestly, just walking into that lobby, just in general, is like gold everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, what I just walk into, and then walking into the studio and really just behind me, I gotta honor all of our history. You know what I mean? There's so many people that are coming from out of town and don't see the Black Seattle, right? And just seeing this is the Black Seattle that our, you know what I mean, parents and, descendants, and you even experience, my generation really didn't get to experience that, but we are getting to experience it with what Africatown is doing now. So it's just amazing to see what it was at its height and how it's getting back to that point.
Absolutely. And you're integral in this work. I mean, I tell you, as a community builder for Africatown Community Land Trust, you really put your pedal to the metal.
Yes.
I think as soon as you got in the role, you were like, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be present. I really appreciate your presence in community. Tell us about some of the things that you've been bringing to this role at ACLT to really plant yourself in community so that community members know that you're a resource for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think one thing that really got me garnered to this role in general is just, the work that, I was doing beforehand. I know we met in 2018, you know what I mean, organizing and holding, candidate forums and stuff like that. And so I think that, just being able to be, apprentice underneath, the White King Garrett, you know what I mean, and being able to see the amazing things that he was doing in his role really was able to set me up for that community builder position. And just being from the community, I know Lanai was saying it, like we've gone through a lot in the last 5 years. I talk about it all the time. I've lost over 40 people, and a lot of them due to gun violence in general, to the point where it's just like it's crazy. And that is really why, like, people ask me why I'm in this work, and like for me it's not work. You know what I mean? It's community, it's life, it's the life that I live because I don't have a choice. You know what I mean? I love doing this for my community because what I'm doing actually saves lives. You know what I mean? And that's why it's important to me. And so when I got into the community builder position, I was mostly already doing the work. And so really just being able to, be introduced to the residents at Liberty Bank building, and really I was a listening ear for majority of that time, just listening to their stories and what their needs were, and seeing how we could activate the space and make sure that everyone was able to feel safe and be able to be, a part of the community in that space, and be able to grow and be able to thrive is really my idea. So within that space, we've seen a lot of things. I know Black health and wellness have definitely played a real critical role within that, making sure that people are getting their Black health and wellness needs met, you know what I mean, within that negative stigma that a lot of people, I talk about the 5 different things of steps of grief. The first is denial, right? And the last is acceptance. You know what I mean? So getting from, depression, getting from anger, getting from bartering within yourself and not being able to let go, or blaming yourself, those steps, you know what I mean, we have to have those mental health professionals, you know what I mean, come down and talk to the residents, which has been happening with the Washington State Therapy Fund, making it, no barriers, you know what I mean, getting that service for no cost for community, even if it was, 6 sessions. That is very much needed for our community. And so I'm very proud to say that, families are getting those type of resources, and that we're out here.
No, I mean, that's something I just love so much. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I had the role that Elijah has now, before I moved over to King County Equity now. And so me and Elijah, we share like a kindred spirit here, because we understand the importance of the work. But I just love how you took what was already there and it took it to another level. One of the things that I appreciate so much is walking into the Liberty Bank building and seeing the Africatown Community Land Trust table right there in the lobby. with resources there, and I've been able to walk in, see you sitting right there, talking to residents, connecting with residents. It was so necessary. So
Yes,
you
yes.
really took it to another level. And as Lanaya was talking about the Black health and wellness, now that's also gone to another level. Tell us about your excitement to bring it back to the Liberty Bank building, or actually bringing it to the Liberty Bank building, because it wasn't there before. We've done healing circles and stuff there, but now this new, this initiative is going to be kind of new in the building. But tell us about your excitement around that.
Yeah, honest, I'll have to say, really, Mike D was really a part of that transition. Mike D was a resident who, tragically we lost in the beginning of this year. And I remember him being such a, golden spirit to that space, you know what I mean? Really being able to, bring that space some life, you know what I mean? He always walked around, he had a joke, you know what I mean? Taking care of his daughter, taking care of his family, you know what I mean? Showing people what, a black man is you know what I mean, taking care of his family, making sure that they're are taken care of, and making sure that he's bringing life into that space. And so really, I'll just have to say that one of the things when he passed away, we were like, no, we need to continue to have the Black health and wellness space here, you know what I mean, for community to be able to utilize this space. And I know with the resource day Fridays, I know for me it was more or less like, I know what community needs because I am community, right? And I know the type of resources we need. So I was able to compile a list of over 75 organizations, right, with health and wellness and, education programs and, rental assistance programs, really listening to community, finding out what the things, that they need. And even now still adding different resources to that list and saying, at first it was just Fridays that I was there and I would provide those resources. And then people were like, well, I need these on Tuesday. I need these on Wednesday. You know what I mean? So I would come on Tuesday, come on Wednesday and everything else. And I'm like, you know what? Even hearing people say that, seeing the Africatown booth made them feel more comfortable in that space, made them feel, safer in that space, and that somebody really cared. It just seeing them, that booth also was I guess extent of me too. So when they seen the booth, they see, seeing somebody that cared about them, that, showed them that, we understand that you matter as an individual and we're going to help you be successful, you know what I mean, and give you the resources that you need to in order to be successful, right? And so I'm saying, like, why not? I don't want to miss out on anyone that I'm not there to see or give those resources to. So boom, we got that every single day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and it goes low too. That's how I know people are utilizing those resources, because those papers are gone sometimes. So I have to restock every week. So I'm like, yeah, people are getting those services.
You know what? It's a beautiful thing, Elijah. Shout out to you for, thinking about Resource Fridays, but then just having the table there is so key. It really does speak volumes to community connection. And, we talk about community in the sense of extended family. Absolutely. And I know you and I, we call each other brother and sister, right? Because we know it. But I think also too, it's really important that community feel that. And for those who may not have grown up with us, how do they get plugged in? How do they get, to get that feeling? And it really is about coming to events, coming to different spaces, being a part of it. So I love that not only are you doing this amazing thing around resources and health and wellness, you also have some great work that's happening around events. And we know summer's around the corner. Events are going to be popping again. Tell us a little bit about this now, like this larger kind of family that you've really cultivated around all these amazing events happening.
All I got to do is shout out every single person that has ever volunteered or been a part of the organizing for Africatown events, just in general, and Africatown as a whole. So shout out to all of the volunteers. Shout out to all the, stakeholders within the process that made it so that I could be here talking about this and, set the groundwork for me to be here. So one thing that we're doing on April 10th is we're actually having a volunteer appreciation reunion, right? And really, if I did not reach out to you and you are a volunteer or a stakeholder of Africatown and you want to come back to that reunion, hit me up. You can get me on Elijah L. Lewis 206 on Instagram, or Elijah L. Lewis on Facebook, or you can email me at elijah@africatownlandtrust.org and just say, hey, I've been a volunteer, I've been a stakeholder, because this is actually for you. And we could not be here without y'all, right? And so pretty much I have seen that really our volunteer structure, they move, you know what I mean? They are putting forth the effort. There's been times where, you already know, as a organizer, you can be stressed, you can have so many things going on, and they are just that life that comes out and says, you know what, I'm going to stand here, I'm going to do the work, I'm going to push forward. And one of those people, I know there's so many of those people, but I got to shout out Ash, because she's our volunteer coordinator, and she is amazing. You know what I mean? She always is on top of things, always making sure that things are happening. You know what I mean? Being my support when I need her. You know what I mean? And being your support too. I know she's also on the King County Equity Now volunteer team, and she does so many other things too. And this is just to speak about the volume of really being an ally for our community. You know what I mean? She is an ally to many communities. She has over 5 communities that she's allyship to. And so just understanding that, showing up as an ally, and really what that means, not taking over the space, not over speaking, and making sure that, the black and brown people that you're allied to are being heard. And being a brown person herself, she also shares that experience of just that oppression and that racism that we go through, right? So just wanted to give her props, but all of our volunteers props on everything that y'all do. And just want to invite you, do a formally invite to our 2022 reunion for all of our volunteers, and our appreciation to y'all is going to be April 10th. It's going to be at Black Dot. And so, if you know where that is, you know that you've been a part of some organizing, because that is our headquarters right there.
Right. Headquarters for real. I mean, for a minute there, we were doing brunch every Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I just love that this effort is happening, because, there are some real amazing volunteers. Ash is amazing. Also, some of the stakeholders, like I think about Margot and Tarasha, and it's like these guys have been doing it for years and years. And there's so many more people, because I mean, I give a shout out to Curtis Calhoun, and I know he's on the Black Dot team, but just he's always so consistent showing up, and his wife Hosna. I mean, there's a lot of people we can mention, but
Siobhan doing the parades and everything.
I mean, there is so, we're talking about Toto, Tame, like look, we can go on and on. There's so many great people that have really like plugged into the effort, and that's what makes it really community based. Elijah, I just thank you for being on today, and for coming down to the Black Media Matter Studios, and bringing us your feel good energy on this amazing Friday. Absolutely. You already gave it to them, but one more time, if they're looking to connect with you, look right there in the camera. Make sure they know your email, your socials, how they connect.
Yes. So first, I want to say, for our Black Health and Wellness Center, space, we just got a Instagram, and it is the Black Health Seattle page on Instagram. So you can follow us, you can support us, you can see what we're doing, all of our events and everything else. And then you can also get me at Elijah at Africatownlandtrust.org. You can email me personally, or Africatownlandtrust.org. In general, will show you every single thing that we're doing, because we got mad events starting out in May with, Black Wall Street coming up on the 30th. We got Malcolm X Day coming up on the 21st. We got, grand openings for William Grove Center happening, in June. So we got all types of things going. So just come and support and follow, and, show us that you want to be a part of the history that's happening in Seattle, Black history. So peace, love, and joy.
Love and joy indeed. Amazing, Elijah. I'm so proud of all the work that you're doing and the love you're pouring into our community. We appreciate you for every bit of it.
I appreciate it, being a part of it.
Absolutely.